In the darkness of history, there are deals made, ancient bargains whispered in shadowed corners, sealed with blood and sealed in silence. Some are forgotten, fading into the winds of time, but others linger, waiting, watching. The Kardashians, Kim, Khloe, Kourtney, Kendall, Kylie, famous for their beauty, their wealth, their power, have all lived under the shadow of a curse that binds them to a fate far darker than the world could ever understand. For in the depths of their ancestry, a woman, an ancestor long gone, made a deal with four witches, a pact born of desperation and desire. She sought fame, she sought beauty, she sought power, and the witches, with their eyes gleaming of ancient magic, granted her wishes. But as with all such bargains, there was a cost. The witches spoke in voices soft but chilling. With greatness comes a price. Your bloodline will bear the weight of fortune. But know this, every man who dares to love you, every man who dares to stand by your side, will be cursed. They will fall. Their lives will unravel. Their fates, forever entwined with yours, will be marked by darkness. And so, the curse took root. Kim Kardashian, the first to step into the spotlight, was the beacon that called the world's attention. She became a symbol of beauty and wealth, her every move documented, her every moment analyzed. But the curse was quick to strike. It wasn't long before her life became intertwined with the fates of the men who loved her. Kim's first marriage to music producer Damon Thomas ended in bitterness and secrecy. Behind closed doors, their relationship crumbled under the weight of Kim's burgeoning fame and Thomas's personal demons. Though the public never fully knew the extent of their struggles, whispers of manipulation, control, and eventual emotional breakdowns clouded the relationship. Then came Kris Humphries, the professional basketball player. Kim's whirlwind 72-day marriage to Kris, which had seemed like the fairy tale of the year, quickly became one of the most publicized failures in Hollywood. While the world watched their televised wedding, it was clear that something darker was at play beneath the surface. Kris's career faltered in the wake of their marriage. He was mocked and ridiculed, the media tearing him apart at every turn. He left the NBA not long after, his life in disarray. The curse had already sunk its claws deep into his life, and it was never the same after. Kim's most public and intense relationship came with Kanye West. At first, it seemed like the perfect match. A music icon, a fashion mogul, a billionaire. But what the world failed to see was the toll the relationship was taking on Kanye. From erratic behavior to public breakdowns, his once glorious career took a nosedive. His mental health became a battleground, and the public spectacle of his struggles only intensified. His controversial statements, his public outbursts, and the eventual unraveling of their marriage were symptoms of a deeper, darker force. A force that had been passed down to him the moment he fell in love with Kim. The curse, it seemed, was not only a legacy of wealth and fame, it was a legacy of broken men. Khloe Kardashian's story was no different. Khloe had always been the loud, unapologetic one, the sister who wasn't afraid to speak her mind. But she, too, found herself caught in the snare of the curse when she married Lamar Odom, the NBA star with the world at his feet. Together, they appeared to have it all, the love, the family, the success. But it didn't take long for the darkness to creep in. Lamar's battles with substance abuse began to unravel their relationship. The man who had once seemed invincible on the court was losing his grip on life. Khloe stood by him, even through his public descent into addiction and the publicized overdose that nearly cost him his life. The curse, it seemed, had claimed another soul. Lamar was never the same after that night, his career and life spiraling into chaos. Khloe herself, while still loved by the public, was also caught in a whirlwind of heartbreak and public scrutiny. Her marriage, her struggles, all laid bare for the world to see. But what many didn't know was that this was merely the latest chapter in a legacy of men broken by the curse. Even as Khloe tried to rebuild her life, her relationships remained marred by the shadow that had followed her bloodline for generations. Then there was Scott Disick, the man who had long been a part of the Kardashian family, yet always seemed like an outsider. The wild, charming bachelor who was with Kourtney Kardashian for years, Scott lived a life of excess, parties, alcohol, drugs. He seemed unstoppable, But in the quiet moments, his demons emerged. The curse settled heavily upon Scott. His relationship with Kourtney, though full of passion, was also fraught with turmoil. Their years together were marked by his battles with alcoholism, emotional instability, and depression. He was always running from something, always falling deeper into self-doubt and despair. Each time he tried to pick himself up, the weight of his inner turmoil, his family troubles, and his growing addiction pulled him back down. Kourtney, the pillar of strength in the relationship, watched helplessly as Scott's life unraveled. It wasn't just his personal demons, it was the curse that lingered, a dark cloud hanging over everything he touched. Travis Scott, the superstar musician, was another casualty of the Kardashian-Jenner curse. His rise to fame had been meteoric: sold-out shows, record-breaking albums, collaborations with the biggest names in the industry. But the tragedy that struck at his Astroworld Festival in 2021 would forever alter his career and his legacy. The night ended in chaos and heartbreak as the crowd surged uncontrollably, leaving dozens dead and hundreds injured. The world watched in horror, and the blame quickly shifted onto Travis. The pressure, the guilt, the loss, it all weighed on him. His public image was shattered in an instant, his name forever associated with the tragedy. Despite his attempts to apologize and make amends, the curse had already worked its cruel magic. His life, like the others before him, had been consumed by a darkness that had no mercy. And then there was Bruce Jenner, the Olympic gold medalist turned reality TV star. Bruce's transition into Caitlyn Jenner was hailed as a monumental moment in the fight for transgender rights, a triumph of self-acceptance. Yet even this transformation, celebrated by millions, came at a cost. Caitlyn, now the face of bravery and courage, found herself facing an unexpected backlash. While many lauded her, others criticized, judged, and attacked. The transition itself, although empowering, became an overwhelming public spectacle. The pressure of living her truth, while also carrying the weight of the Kardashian curse, was a burden too great for one person to bear. It was as though the curse had followed her, not just in the form of the media's unrelenting gaze, but in the form of deeper personal struggles, loneliness, doubt, and the isolation that accompanied her fame. The curse didn't end with them. It spread silently into every corner of the Kardashian-Jenner world. Kendall Jenner, though largely free from the public scandals that plagued her siblings too, carried the burden. Her model career, once the envy of all, often felt like a gilded cage. She was beautiful, yes, but the expectations were suffocating. The pressure to live up to the legacy of her family's fame was constant, and the cost of perfection weighed heavily on her shoulders. Kylie Jenner, the youngest, seemed to defy the odds, building a beauty empire and amassing an incredible fortune, but even she could not escape the curse's touch. Relationships that were once thought of as fairy tales ended in turmoil. Her social media presence, once the epitome of control, now seemed like an escape from the unraveling chaos in her personal life. The Kardashian-Jenner family, each member with their own rise to glory, each one touched by the magic of the witches and cursed by the men who loved them. Fame, power, beauty, money, all granted to them in a dark bargain made long ago. But the price is clear, the curse is real, and no one who steps into their world will ever leave unscathed. As the bloodline continues, so does the toll. The men who love them, the families they create, the lives they touch, they all fall prey to the same fate. The curse is timeless, and as the years pass, it only grows stronger. The deal was made, and the curse lives on.